Soften as into a dream the letters of Robert B. Huston, Oklahoma Rough Rider. While a hotel in Oklahoma City in the 1960s was being torn down, a hotel manager found a box of letters in the basement. The letters turned out to be from Robert Bell Houston, who was the captain of the Rough Riders in the Spanish-American War. A lot of the letters were from Robert to his wife talking about the war. Robert B. Houston was from Hamilton, Ohio. He was born on January 25, 1864. He went to public school in Hamilton and went on to the University at Lebanon in Ohio. He then moved to Seneca, Kansas, where he taught while studying law. He got admitted to the Kansas bar in 1892. He joined the National Guard and then moved to Guthrie, Oklahoma Territory, where he worked with his brother in a law firm called Huston and Huston. A woman named Vienna Rhodes moved to Guthrie and went to work at Huston and Huston's law firm, and that's where Robert Huston and Vienna got to know each other and were married. They had a son, Robert Harold, on July 18, 1897. Robert Huston had always been intrigued with the military, and in 1895, Robert was made captain of Company A, Oklahoma National Guard. During this time, Cuba was revolting against Spain. The United States had to intervene since Spain wouldn't abide by the policy of the Cubans. Leonard Wood put together a volunteer group called the Rough Riders. Robert Huston was made captain of Troop D, which was from Oklahoma Territory. The Rough Riders had to go to San Antonio, Texas, to train before they left for Cuba. Robert had written a letter to his wife while they were in San Antonio. He said, "This is my opportunity, and I'm not wearing out the seat of my trousers sitting around." Troop D set sail on the Yucatan on June 17, 1898. They landed near Santiago de Cuba, and that's where Robert Huston described to his wife in a letter about the Battle of Los Guatemala. He writes, "The firing was terrific. Saw one man shot through the right breast, one through the right knee, and another through the left arm. It was a great victory for us. The Cubans captured a Spaniard the same afternoon, and he said to them, 'We don't understand those Americans. When we fire, they don't stop. The faster we shoot, the faster they shoot. They just keep a-comin'.' There was no groaning or crying out by any of our wounded." Later on, Robert wrote about the Battle of San Juan Hill, saying, "Can only write a line. Came out of the hard-fought battle of the first and second safe again. Our first battle was hard enough, but only lasted 2.5 hours. The last continued all day with a desperate night attack 2 nights afterwards. Our regiment and the 9th and 10th Cavalry had the brunt of it. I was in command of a squadron. Had 2 air lines. One had his leg shattered right behind me. The other shot through knee partially, and I got one through the hat. I was overcome with the heat before night and had to go down. We were entrenched about 700 yards from the enemy. We are holding the key to the line. We worked all night making props. We have done no fighting for 2.5 days. Have a truce trying to get to the Spanish to surrender. They want to quit, but can't go back to Spain if they do." After the Spanish surrendered on July 17, 1898, Troop D was returned to the United States at Camp Witkoff in New York on September 14, 1898. Robert had told his wife Vienna that he wanted to join the regular army, so on September 27, 1898, Huston was appointed to the regular army. His wife didn't like that her husband would have a full-time military career. She wrote a letter to him describing how she felt. "I have decided not to write to the president, and then I won't have to be blamed for it. I have no business to write to you when I feel as I do. I feel like rebelling against it all. I talk to the little sweetheart every day about you, but he always says you are dead. I never told him such a thing. When I cry, he wants to know if I am sick." Huston was made Paymaster General in Washington, D.C. He applied for a supervisory position of the Oklahoma Territorial Census, but became Paymaster of the 47th Infantry on November 1899. The 47th Infantry was ordered to sail to the Philippines. The Filipinos began an insurrection against Spain. Huston wrote on May 1st just how bad the operations in the Philippines were. "The situation hasn't changed any for the better. That is not any nearer a determination since we came here, except that we have broken up their army as one body. They have divided up and scattered, and without more troops, with the forts all open, they can continue this state of affairs for a generation. Someone is at fault for the vacillating and wavering policy pursued. All forts have been opened, and the insurgents get all the provisions they want of every kind. The garrisons are small. so small that only small detachments can be sent out. If more would go there, would be great danger of the towns we holding be burned and our supplies destroyed. We had everything on the run here, and the higher authorities, thinking everything was over, took away the battalion of the 40th, leaving us 3 companies. We can now march out and back again. They run away and we can't go after them. What it needs is a force to take the field and follow them up and drive them to death or submission. We are now doing just exactly what Spain did in Cuba. Occupy some towns and march out in the morning and back at night. This method makes us all tired. Why the insurgents are allowed to maintain hospitals in Molina, so I am informed. Their prisoners are returned loose. The leaders go unpunished, so of course the things go on. No drastic measures are reported to at all. We capture, come in, Filipino soldiers in town nearly every day. They hide their arms and come in. We keep them a while, make them work, and then return them. This is the first time I have given away my feelings of indignation of the way things are going. We get more news in from all over the island, and conditions are the same everywhere as here. Unfortunately, the Huston family heard some news they had been dreading since he first left. The letter stated, First Reserve Hospital, Molina. Captain Robert B. Huston, 47th Infantry, was admitted to the hospital May 29, 1900, with diagnosis on transfer slip. Superactive tonsillitis. Fever continued. Original admission to sick report, May 2, 1900. Positive vital reaction, June 30, 1900. Died at 1:10 p.m., July 6, 1900. Cause, typhoid fever. All effects at hospital were shipped to Colonial, a regiment. Robert Huston didn't get to return home, but his letters are a lasting legacy of what an Oklahoma Rough Rider's role in the Spanish-American War and what he did for the United States.